It's not morning. It's really Thursday night.
We try so hard. Oh, man.
We're never going to trick you. You're too smart.
Coming to you from beautiful Tijuana Park in the city of Pasco,
That's
our
right.
hometown. Well, I wasn't born here, but lived here.
It's going to be hard to...
How long have you lived here?
Oh, man, we've been in Pasco probably 4 or 5 years, yeah.
16 years.
Yeah, so this guy's
16,
he's a
I
native.
cannot even, well, it's about the longest I've lived any place, honestly. No, it's good stuff.
The fish are jumping.
Fish are jumping. The geese are giving us our wide berth
Geese are
now.
squawking.
I've been riding, if you know bicycles at all, you know there's a park loop that goes 20 some miles through Tijuana Park, around all the way. You can see the whole route from here, and it is by far one of my favorite places to just come and be, especially in the morning, because it's quiet, except for loudmouth pastors who come down here.
And take over the dock.
Yeah, and with people walking their dogs, riding their bikes, just being out, and you know, not a lot of chit chat. And if you're a quiet type like I am, it's nice to just kind of get in your head and hang out there for a little bit. So we're glad to bring some of that to you today. If you haven't been down here in a while or ever, here it is.
Yeah, it's here. It's beautiful.
Open.
There's no picnic tables yet out, but still a great place to walk. And
Plenty of lawn, and bring a blanket.
right.
For
Or
sure.
these beauties.
Oh, heck yeah. Have a lawn chair will travel. We are in 1 Corinthians 8 this week. If you're just joining us for the first time, we've been working our way through 1 Corinthians chapter at a time. Some heavy stuff
Yes, very heavy.
as we've been going.
Somebody on staff told me last week was rated R. I just had to laugh. They said it was her favorite, but it was rated R.
Well, you know, what we're going to find, and today's no different, some of what we're going to find is that the topics that Paul's addressing, to us, we go,
Yeah.
but we've got our own versions of it, right? So the last thing that we want to do is say, oh, well, that's just them. We don't have anything like that. No, we have our things like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what we want to do today specifically is talk about, because this is a perfect example of it, what the relatability is and what the spiritual principle is that travels through time, for sure. 1 Corinthians 8. This is from the Message. We kind of like the Message, so we're keeping with that. The question keeps coming up regarding meat that has been offered up to an idol. Should you attend meals where such meat is served or not? We sometimes tend to think we know all we need to know, but to answer these kinds of questions. But sometimes our humble hearts can help us more than our proud minds. We never really know enough until we recognize that God alone knows it all. Some people say, quite rightly, that idols have no actual existence, that there's nothing to them, that there's no God other than our one God, that no matter how many of these so-called gods are named and worshipped, they all still don't add up to anything but a tall story. They say again, quite rightly, that there's only one God the Father, that everything comes from Him, and that He wants us to live for Him. Also, they say that there's only one Master, Jesus the Messiah, and that everything is for His sake, including us. Yes, it's true. In strict logic, then, nothing happened to the meat when it was offered up to an idol. It's just like any other meat. I know that, and you know that, but knowing isn't everything. If it becomes everything, some people end up as know-it-alls who treat others as know-nothings. Real knowledge isn't that insensitive.
Yes. So good.
We need to be sensitive to the fact that not all are at the same level of understanding in this. Some of you have spent your entire lives eating idol meat and are sure that there's something bad in the meat, and then becomes something bad inside of you. An imagination and a conscience shaped under those conditions isn't going to change overnight. But fortunately, God doesn't grade us on our diet. We're neither commended when we clean our plate nor reprimanded when we just can't stomach it. But God does care when you use your freedom carelessly in a way that leads a fellow believer still vulnerable to those old associations to be thrown off track. For instance, say you flaunt your freedom by going to a banquet thrown in honor of idols, where the main course is meat sacrificed to idols. Isn't there great danger if someone still struggling over this issue, someone who looks up to you, as knowledgeable and mature, sees you go into that banquet. The danger is that he will become terribly confused, maybe even to the point of getting mixed up himself in what his conscience tells him is wrong. Christ gave his life for that person. Wouldn't you at least be willing to give up going to dinner for him? Because, as you say, it doesn't really make any difference. But it does make a difference if you hurt your friend terribly, risking his eternal ruin. When you hurt your friend, you hurt Christ. A free meal here and there isn't worth it at the cost of even one of those weak ones. So never go to these idle, tainted meals if there's any chance it will trip up one of your brothers or sisters.
Yeah, that's so good.
Hear the word of the Lord.
Right.
Holy smokes. So what you got?
Well, it's loaded. And I think, it's way bigger than just meals, right? And I think even today, I grew up thinking about meals or places I go or how I, handle it so I don't cause a brother to stumble or that kind of thing. But I think right now, the first thing that comes to my mind is social media. I feel like people in social media, that's the freedom to
Second
say
Amendment.
what, yeah,
Just put it out there.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think that is causing weaker people to stumble. And so that's what I was processing is just our words, or it seems safer because you typed it instead of said it to a person face to face or something like that. And I think what you do in social events too, as Paul is talking about. But I do think this is a bigger thing, and I think more relevant to us today is the place of social media. So
it's a different kind of venue.
Yeah.
So obviously, biblical times they didn't have that.
Right.
Venue. Paul wasn't a bumper sticker guy, but I like bumper stickers. Paul's bumper sticker, if he was going to write one, just kind of sum up his advice to a lot of the churches, was just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yep.
And we live in a country that's full of can.
No, I can. I'm free to do it.
Oh yeah, and even sort of a pride in it. We've got a Bill of Rights. We have all and it's not like they're bad things. My goodness, we enjoy those freedoms. But Paul is reminding people of the spiritual dynamic in all of this, that there is a moral imperative in your choices beyond just you.
Yeah. Yep.
That it does, your actions affect other people. As pastors, I don't people hold us to a higher standard.
Yeah.
And not wrongly so. And I've had times in my life, I was thinking about this week, I'm no angel. Goodness, I've had times where, in my spiritual enlightenment, particularly during seminary, which seems ironic, but I was ornery because I thought, well, I can do this. I'm not going to hell. I can do that, and I had it was all about me. And not any consideration to what it might do to other people.
Yeah. The thing that, this is hard. This might rock the boat a little bit, but the first thing, being a dog, there's freedom, freedom in Christ over freedom in country, and that's, the freedoms in Christ that we should be first and foremost, I believe, and what are those freedoms? And yes, we have them available to us, but how do we use them? How do we go about it?
Preached on that just a couple weeks ago, right? Our freedom frees us up to serve other people.
Yeah. Yep.
Our freedom gives us the freedom to quit worrying about ourselves.
Yeah.
It frees us up to care more about what happens to other people than what happens to us. That is completely countercultural. So here's a piece too, learning
Got a third guy
about Corinth.
Yeah.
Corinth was a hub of all kinds of people with different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different class, rich, poor people. And the rich people probably were the ones sort of asserting themselves because they had more freedom to move about. They had more money, they had more opportunity. It was a lot of, and male driven.
Oh yeah.
Status and all this stuff. And some of it is hard to relate to, but this food sacrifice to idols, well, the temple was kind of the restaurant of the day. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't what they were eating. Paul's kind of stripping all the way. Yeah. It's where they were eating.
Yeah.
And if you're going to these places and doing what you want to do, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Ain't nothing wrong with that meat, right? But there were other things going on at the temple too that had me more thinking about Vegas.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a great example.
And I've been to Vegas. I probably won't go back, right? Been there, done that. But it was the association of, hey, look, if somebody's trying their best, even if it looks way more conservative than you, but that's helpful to them, don't just sit there and say, well, I can, and you just get over it. And worse yet, don't like invite them along and say, oh, no, it's fine. You're going to do more harm than good.
Right.
Again, terribly relevant and a little disarming. I grew up in a community where alcohol was preached against, like by name.
Yeah.
Well, hello, wine-growing Tri-Cities.
Yeah, right.
Second in the U.S., only to Napa Valley. I have to wrestle with that, right? And we can take that conversation offline, but there's all kinds of things. That I probably have become more conservative as I've gotten older.
As you become a parent.
Much to the chagrin of our children.
Yeah.
So, anyways, those are some of the takeaways right now.
Yeah, that's so good. It's off topic, but he's like, what? No, I just want to encourage. I want to encourage you guys. I know those that are watch diligently and enjoy this, but I just want to encourage people. You can do devotions on your own. And we want to encourage that, and we always have YouVersion app is a fantastic one, and you can actually get into a small group. You can find other people that are have the app, and you can do the same study together. It's a really cool tool. I'm blanking out. Online Bible, the audio Bible, daily audio Bible, is another fantastic one. And then one that I've really enjoyed is Bible Project. And that's online. You just BibleProject.com, and just some great short videos just for good study. And so we want to make sure that you guys are also doing it on your own. It's not just us presenting it to you all the time, but you're also doing it on your own. So I just want to encourage you in that regard.
We're happy to keep bridging, and it's probably the least we can do. And there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I hope coming down here and being in this quiet place isn't sort of this denial that the world isn't messy right now. It's very messy. But it's always going to be messy, right? Jesus kind of promised that. And so to be intentional, just like he was, about pulling away from that and focusing even just for a few minutes on what's most important, who he is, who we are because of that, gives us a new strength to re-engage. And so that's what we want to help you do. Not to just retreat. That's counterproductive. But to give you a chance to take a breath, to refocus, and then re-engage. And we'll help you as much as we can to do that.
That's
Praise
great.
out.
Sure. Father God, thank you for this beautiful morning. Thank you for this beautiful land that we live in. God, I just lift up our country to you right now. There seems to be a lot of messes going on, and I know that you are the creator, and you love us all individually as we are who we are, and we're your children, and we just ask for guidance in this place, in this time. And thank you for this opportunity to share with Jason, and just guide us all the rest of this day. In your precious name, amen.
Amen.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. It might be morning, it might be evening.
You never know.